Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ranas Batra, and today I would like to review the journal. And the journal, the title of the journal is Analyzing the Speaking and Writing Competence of an Indonesian Student in the USA, a case study. For the first is we have the abstract verse, like underpinning the theory of communicative competence or CC. Prosperous by Sales Moores, this case study focused on elaborating the communicative competence of an Indonesian student who is studying in USA through his writing and speaking performance. The spoken data was collected by face-to-face interview through the Skype application, while the written data was collected through email and in a form of Microsoft Word file and analyzed with the CC theory. It was found that the participants demonstrate well in both speaking and writing. However, it also found the 30% had limitation in linguistic competence or grammar. In both speaking and writing, as well as strategic competence or fluency in speaking. Therefore, compensation strategies suggested by Oxford can be applied, such as code switching, native speaker, or peer assistance. Mind or gesture avoiding communication, being smart in selecting the topic, asking or altering the message, coining artwork, and using synonyms. And next is introductions. Not long after the proclamation of freedom in Indonesia, English was chosen as the first foreign language in the country instead of Dutch, the language of people of Netherlands who ruled Indonesian for countries. The reason was because Dutch was the language of colonies and it did not have international status as English. The way it's spoken and written has become the primary problem in Indonesian students in learning English. Furthermore, the diversity of dialects and cultural background of the people across Indonesia also makes it difficult to learn. Despite the issue of English of French language, Indonesians State Laureate 2008 stated that it now considered as an access to international market scientific knowledge and expertise, and it is needed for the country development, especially for the researcher and academics. Nowadays, many Indonesian researchers and lecturers of University in Indonesia who have a work culture, namely Three Dharma Perguruan Tinggi or three pillars of higher education, which requires them to the teaching and research publications. Istanbul 2019 are interested in pursuing this study and career abroad in order to open more opportunities to contribute in the global communities. Therefore, their competition in English is necessary to fulfill their intention, mainly in speaking and writing. However, according to Hertz et al. 2016, speaking anxiety was found from presentation done in academic setting. The anxiety is caused by fear of negative evaluation, of being criticized in depending too much or appeared in PowerPoint presentations, with many research and academic do in seminar and conference. And from this study, it's expected to perceive his strength and limitation in terms of six communicative competencies, or CC, as suggested by Selim Murcia 2008 in speaking and in writing. The first is the theory of the communicative competence, or CC. The theory of the communicative competences, or CC, was coined by Dale Helms in the 1960 and emphasizes that grammatical rules are not enough to produce speaking and other language skills which enable communication in 1965. Selim Murcia proposed that linguistic competence, strategy competence, socio-linguistic competence, action competence, and discourse competence were a part of communications competence, or CC. And from this journal, using a method, setting, and participants, or using analyzing, collect data and analyzing or analyze. The participant of the study was 33 years old or resident working in one of government institution in Indonesia was studying in a university in the USA. He used Bahasa Indonesia both at home and work, but spoke English during his study in the US. He began studying English when he was a junior in high school and spent more of the time in Indonesia. When the person was in junior high school, he was told that to memorize a number of vocabulary. He thought such learning strategy was difficult for him when encountering some low frequency word which he did not know the meaning yet. At the time, the person felt like communicating in English was challenging. When communication with the local people, there was a fear that even though he understood what they had said, they did not understand what he had said or what opinion or idea he had delivered, especially in classroom discussion. However, he was trying to speak with gesture and to help of the body language of his body language. Data collection and analysis. To collect the data about the participant's ability in speaking and writing, he was given spoken and writing tests in an EL test like test formal and writing text. The participant was also to write to model of EL test writing test, academic and general training. In collecting data was for the speaking task, the researchers employed the Sky application to conduct an interview due to the considerable distance between the researcher and the participant. And we move to the finding and discussion. Speaking task evaluation. This research could be conduct a virtual interview with the participants on Skype, which was successfully recorded. And the researcher using found that from the Mursi before is social cultural competence, discourse competence, linguistic competence, formality competence, intellectual competence, strategic competence, writing text evolution. The writing data was given was two models of EL tests like writing tests, academic general and training tests. We found that method using is like social culture competence, discourse competence, formality competence, and linguistic competence, interactional competence, and strategic competence. So this conclusion is this study focused on the analysis of the communicative competence of an Indonesian student who is studying in one of university in USA. The main focus was the speaking and writing competence. The competence were evaluated by the theory of communicatives or CC, completed by Sages from Celse Murcia. It also suggests that the participant can apply the compensation strategy by Oxford in 1916. In dialogue with both speaking and writing, the studies are switching language into mother tongue or code switching, getting help from native speaker or peer assistant using mime or gesture, participant ultimately varying communication, being smart in selecting the topic, adjusting or altering the message into something which is slightly different, coining words, and using synonym. Their studies are intended to make the language learner stay in conversation and keep writing. I think that's all from this journal. That from me. And assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.